this important topic. All right, we are live now, so we're looking forward to seeing you there. Right now, outside it's 64 degrees here in the Tennessee Valley. 93 is on our high today, and your weather has been brought to you by Apple White Movers. The Athens Trinity SDA Church invites you to their community health fair. It's free and open to the public. Sunday, September 21st from 1 to 5 p.m. They'll have blood pressure checks, weight, height, and body mass index. Also, glucose and cholesterol checks. Meet kids in the kitchen with Miss Hannah. There's AIDS testing, massages, and free clothing giveaways. This is happening Sunday, September the 21st from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Athens Trinity SDA Church. They're located at 823 Browns Ferry Street in Athens. Athens Trinity SDA Church, a proud business partner of WJOU.
Spread love. Oh, it's better spread tonight. Spread love. The truth is to the sky. I'm up and say love could open any door. Oh, but I wish we had much more. More love is what we need.
Hey, this is Alvin Shea of Take Six. Praise from the New Living Translation version of the Bible is 1 Corinthians 15:55 through 57. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin law. But thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Get your message of praise at WJOU.org. I'm Alvin Shea, and I am Oakwood University Radio.
What the world needs now. We need is love. More love is what we need.
Hey, listen, it is now 8:33 in the Tennessee Valley, and thank you for joining us. I see you coming on in. We are on Facebook and on YouTube at Praise 90.1 FM WJOU with our special guest today, who is going to be talking to us about changing our eating habits, going to plant-based eating. And this is an exciting thing. This is something that I love to talk about. We've had several people come on and talk about this topic. But Dr. Ruby Lathon is a certified holistic nutritionist who is passionate about showing people how a plant-based lifestyle can help prevent and even reverse chronic illness. And she's going to be sharing her personal journey as well on her health and wellness as well. Family, you don't want to miss this. We are ready now. So come on in. I see you coming on in. All right. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Chat.
Good morning.
So good to see you looking so beautiful early this morning.
Thank you. So are you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And you're in Washington, D.C., but you're going to be heading to Huntsville, right?
Momentarily. Yep. I'll be there this evening.
Coming this evening. And she's coming for a very important event that's happening at the Oakwood University. We call it the Community Health Action Center, where they're going to be having a wellness and cooking demo on Sunday, and it's going to be at what time? Do you remember what time?
2 p.m. 2 to 4.
All right, because my stuff dropped out.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk to you about this important topic. We're excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, let's start right here, Dr. Ruby. Just share with us your personal journey into plant-based lifestyle. Do you do lifestyle or just diet?
It's definitely a lifestyle. You know, I'm into holistic, so I'm a holistic nutritionist. So when I work with people, we're looking at, of course, food and supplementation, but we're also looking at lifestyle because there's so many other things that affect your health than just food. You know, your sleeping habits, your water intake, your relationships, anger, resentment, all those kind of things also impact health. So we have to look at everything to see, you know, what do we need to adjust so that we're, you know, in alignment.
Okay, so lifestyle. So when you talk about that lifestyle, it's everything, not just dieting?
Right. So food is the foundation, right? Because that affects how we feel, how we think. You know, if you don't have good food in, or if you're nutrient deficient, you know, you're not going to feel well. So we start with that. But there are other things that, you know, our everyday lives have just as big an impact on our overall health as our food does. So even if you're eating completely well, but you're really out of balance with overworking or never sleeping, or just out of balance with your personal relationships, a lot of stress and anxiety, you can also, have illnesses that are related to that. So we look at everything that affects health, and that's, how we operate and move in society. And so we want to make sure we're taking that, holistic approach when we're dealing with health, because
So
there are
yeah.
many components.
Right, right. And some people even take it further than that, even their clothing, do you go that
Absolutely.
far?
We do. I don't throw it all at once, but linen is healing, and flax and the polyesters are not good. Cotton is better. So yes, so we get into like body products, because there's a lot of, our skin is the largest organ that's absorbing all that. So we look at what are good or clean body products, what are good hair products, makeup products, all of those things, especially that we're putting on our bodies every day, has an impact.
Wow. So what led you to make this change in your life? Because you weren't always vegan, and you are vegan, right?
I am. I
So
am. Have
so
been
you
for
weren't
quite.
always living this lifestyle. What led you to this
Yeah.
change?
Yeah. Well, it was, I was an engineer. This is my second career. All my degrees are in engineering, computer science. And so in 2007, that's when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and I was completely shocked
Mm.
by that. So, but I started just researching on how to heal naturally, because I didn't want to have to be on medication forever, which is what happens when you take out the thyroid. So I was like, there's got to be a better way.
Mm.
Obviously, I grew up mainly vegetarian, and with some fish and things here, but I really wasn't focused on the health of it. It was, just lifestyle basically.
Mhm.
So when I, was diagnosed, I started researching and was reading all about how a completely plant-based diet is so healing for many things. And then that's when I switched,
Mm.
got rid of the dairy. Mostly that was the main thing that needed to go, but also sugar and junk food and processed food,
My
those
goodness.
kind of things.
Now that's a hard thing to do. I'm telling you. I'm not plant-based,
Yeah.
but I try not to eat sugar and sweets, and it's just such a hard thing.
It can be, and I eat sweets now, but just not a lot. So during the recovery, I didn't, like, for a year. It's like zero sugar. I think except one bite of a cake. I had like one bite for the entire year. But
Oh,
um,
wow, for the entire year. Okay,
yes,
I'm thinking one
because
bite today, and hopefully I won't do it again. I have another bite that same hour. You know what I mean?
right, yeah. So I eat sweets now, but I try to use, things made with like coconut sugar or maple
Mm.
syrup, or stevia, natural sweeteners that aren't going to impact the immune system as much, because sugar does suppress the immune system. When you're dealing with things like, cancer or even colds and flus, the last thing you want to do is kind of feed that by suppressing your immune system with sugar. Obviously, also dairy and other fried
Mhm.
foods and things like that. So there are levels to it. So during recovery, I was eating very clean. Now I eat clean, but with, I allow a little this, a little bit of potato chip here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna have some birthday cake or something. Plant based though. And so there are levels to it. There's diets when you're eating very clean or doing a
Mhm.
cleanse versus your everyday maintenance.
Mhm. So your thyroid cancer,
Mhm.
you are what is your status?
I have been cancer free since like 2008. So,
Wow.
the
Praise
long story
God.
short, I switched the diet, learned how to use food as medicine, literally. Learned how to
Mm.
how to use supplementation to help heal my body, reduce stress, and all of that. And the cancer was gone
Mm.
naturally within the year. So I gave
Wow.
myself a little over a year to let the process work.
Wow, you gotta tell me a little bit more about that process. I really wanna see it clearly, because you said that your cancer went away. You didn't have the surgery, right?
I did not. I did not.
And it went away in about a year, but you
Yeah, a
gotta
little over a year. So we went, it was like 14 months to be exact. I had another biopsy after the year, and it was completely gone. And so I was
mm,
ecstatic. So during that time, I was monitoring, there was a little nodule about a centimeter or so. And I was, monitoring it with ultrasound to make sure it wasn't like growing out of control or something. So, but during that process, I was doing all kinds of cleanses, heavy metal cleanses, detoxes. I met with so many doctors and naturopathics. I was like, I've got to figure this out. Like, kind of, why did I get it and how to get rid of it? And so I was doing a lot of things that help nourish the thyroid when I was, because a lot of times the thyroid is susceptible to excess radiation from too many dental x-rays or a lot of other things. So I was detoxing in that way. Mushroom extracts really help the thyroid. And like I said, eating clean, juicing wheatgrass every day.
Oh, wow.
Praying, obviously. I was anointed with oil at church, and I would pray, and then I would visualize my healing, like the cancer in my mind, I would see it going away. And so I stopped saying I had it because I was like, this is healed. So let's not claim what we don't want. So it was definitely a process. I ended up quitting my job and leaving engineering, working in defense because I didn't like it. So I was like, I got to be in alignment with what God is calling me to do.
Wow. So, most people feel like chronic illnesses cannot be reversed, but you're living proof that it can, and you can prevent it as well. But how does that nutrition, how do we get people to really feel that way? You can't go into this halfway, right? You got to go in 100%, to really see it, make this reverse or prevent it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, there are levels to how clean eating you want to do. So you can start with, just a few days a week. I'm just not going to, take animal products. So basically, when I was looking at what heals the body, the primarily healing entities were in green vegetables, in your collards, your kale, all the cruciferous vegetables, the onions. Nothing was showing up that the healing properties were in meat or in dairy or anything like that. So I was open to whatever works. So I'm like, if those are the healing things, if you eat just that, your body is going to respond to that. So you can start. Some people go cold turkey and like, okay, I'm just not eating meat anymore, which is fine if you know what you're going to replace that with. So one of the pitfalls is saying, oh, I'm just not going to eat a whole group of food that you've been eating every day without doing some research and preparing for what you're going to replace it. And then, 2 weeks later, I can't do this anymore. Or, I'm tired of eating peanut butter sandwiches because that's all that, thought about. It's like, no, there's huge variety, but you want to be prepared to replace what you're letting go.
I think that's really, really key. Now, you have a book. You probably talk about this in your book. The title of your book is Stop Playing, Go Vegan. Come on, stop playing with me.
Exactly. Stop playing, go vegan. It's like it's a cookbook of recipes that will help you get there. So recipes that will help prevent and reverse chronic diseases. So it's like no guarantees, but a lot of these are recipes, some of them that I used during my recovery. So it's raising the probability that you will remain healthy if you eat a lot of what's in the book. And the recipes are very healthy, and I have it broken into different chapters. Since a lot of my issues with the thyroid, there's a chapter on thyroid nourishing foods. There's immune boosting chapter. So if you're dealing with something where your immune system really needs support, that's where you'd want to focus. I talk a lot about chapter on smoothies and juices, how to, make those very nutrient dense as well. And then there's a chapter on protein, because a lot of people, when they go fully plant-based, they're worried about protein. And I'm like, it really doesn't have to be an issue. So here's a chapter on that. And then, of course, I have family recipes. So if you've ever eaten at my house or my mom's house throughout the years, she is a cook extraordinaire, which is where I learned. And so we have a chapter on the family recipes too.
Wow. So these recipes are really, really good. I think it's helpful if somebody is thinking about making this lifestyle change. And I think the biggest thing that you touched on is really how you really have to shift how you grocery shop and have those things in your house, because I think that's where I fail. I don't have enough in my house, so I just go and pick up something, whatever. I'll eat a potato,
Mm-hmm.
or and just, I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
potatoes are fine, but I mean, I would just be
Yeah.
eating things, or potato chips and stuff like that,
Right.
that
Mhm.
are so easily accessible.
Right.
What are some of the how do you make those adjustments to grocery shopping? How do you help us ease that transition and pivot there?
Yeah, you really want to have a plan, like what you're going to be eating. You don't want to just shop kind of willy-nilly unless you're shopping in the vegetable and fruit
Mhm.
section. But even then, you kind of want to have a plan
Mhm.
for what you're shopping. So you do want to spend the majority of the time in the produce section, and that is going to take a little time to
Mhm.
prep. So I do recommend doing like 2 hours like a prep on a Sunday or something, so that you're ready. A lot of people will prep like sweet potatoes,
Mhm.
rice, and some other veggies, and then throughout the week, add your beans and greens and things to it to make like a veggie bowl. So it's already available. And
Mm.
definitely having lots of fruit. So I set goals for myself. Like if I have a big thing of salad, I'm like, okay, I will not let this go bad. This has to be gone by Friday, so that
Yeah,
you're
that's a
focusing on what you need to eat as opposed to what you're not eating.
mhm. So do you also recommend preparing all of your meals and not eating anything that comes packaged or pre-prepared?
No, I wouldn't say all of them. I mean, there are some foods that are prepared that are relatively healthy, and so I do teach people how to read labels and
Mhm.
what additives and things we want to avoid in foods, that are just markers of cheap food that really doesn't have much nutrients in it. So you can have some prepared food because life happens, and so we're not always going to be able to prepare from scratch. But you want it to be clean, like not have
Mhm.
hydrogenated oils and food colorings and things like that,
Yes.
artificial food coloring. So you can get some, but you just want to make sure whatever you're eating, the veggies are first, having a veggie forward kind of thought process about your meals as opposed to the meat of the
Mm.
meal.
All right, so hold your book up again, and it's entitled "Stop Playing, Go Vegan." That's her book. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see that
Yeah.
book there. Is it also telling you, what things you need to look out for when you're shopping in your book? Does it tell you what things you should not
Um,
get?
It does. We do cover on some of that, but it's
Hmm.
primarily focusing on how to prepare the foods. It also highlights what recipes are easy, how long it's going to take,
Yeah.
or which ones are intermediate or more advanced. So it's really giving you easy recipes that taste
Mhm.
good, that really will keep you looking well, feeling well.
All right now, and you look well. I know you must be feeling well because you can't look that good and not feel well. I'm telling you, I can
Thank
see that
you.
whole plant-based diet all over you. So let's talk about your the workshop that's coming up, the wellness workshop and cooking demo. This is why we're talking to Dr. Ruby Lathon
Mhm.
about this plant-based diet, because she's going to be here on Sunday here in Huntsville at the
Great.
Community Health Action Center, right here at the footprint of Oakwood University's campus at 1863 Sparkman Drive, right here in Huntsville. She's going to be doing a workshop and a cooking demo. So, how are we going to? This sounds exciting. Are you excited
Yeah.
about doing this workshop? I
Absolutely,
guess you do a lot of
absolutely.
these, right?
I do, I do. So yeah, I'm excited to do this here at Oakwood. So it's really going to talk about getting into some details of healthy living and some really good takeaways that you will I'll outline for you, and then we'll get into a demo with some recipes from the book, and that folks will get to sample. So the proof is in the pudding, right? If it doesn't taste good, it's like
Exactly. I'm telling you, right there, that part right there, gotta taste good.
that's one of the reasons I got into it when I was like shifting out of defense was I got so tired of not tasty vegan food. I was like, it doesn't have to taste bad.
Right,
I could
right.
make this so much better. And I was like, I just have to do it. So that's
Mhm.
why in DC, I have my own meal delivery service, Ruby Red's Vegan,
Oh
where we
wow.
prepare the food and deliver every week. So if you're like in that area for folks, there's no excuse. You can just get it delivered. and it follows the principles of clean eating, veggie forward food, but it tastes really good. And so that's why I started teaching cooking classes, because I was like, I can't take it. My pet peeve is bad vegan food. That's
Ooh,
my
come on now.
biggest
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
that is my biggest pet peeve. I'm like, come on. We got to do better. You want
Right.
people to eat well, it has to taste good. And it
Absolutely.
can and does when you do it right.
It does. It really does. So we're talking with Dr. Ruby Lathan. She's going to be in Huntsville for a wellness workshop and cooking demo, plant-based cooking demo. She's going to have her book there as well. Stop Playing, Go Vegan. This is going to be happening Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Community Health Action Center right here in Huntsville, located at 1863 Sparkman Drive right here in Huntsville. So Dr. Lathan, for someone who's listening right now who feels overwhelmed about making a lifestyle change, but know they probably really need to do this. Maybe they're running from something as far as chronic illnesses that could run in their family. What's one simple step they can take today?
That's a good question. One step is let's start with water. A lot of people are chronically dehydrated, and that leads to things like even back pain and migraine headaches are linked to chronic dehydration. So I would say water, and then let's look at how do we get more greens in the plate. Let's not even talk about takeaway yet. Let's look at what we're eating every day, and is there something green in every meal? Let's increase the greens, because that's the healing properties. That's what's going to nourish us and keep us well. And that's also the fiber. And then we need a lot more fiber. So I would start there. That's the simplest thing. And then let's talk about merging away from the meat every day, and at least doing some, days without it. And then for some people, it's let's get rid of the dairy products and replace it with something else. So it's wherever you are, but it's water and greens for starters. And then where you see you can next make that step, then that's where you want to go. And you can also, get help. That's what I do. I help people with customized plans to help do just that, to help them stay well, get well.
Well, guys, you don't want to miss this workshop, wellness workshop and cooking demo. It's on a plant-based diet, and it's with Dr. Ruby Lathan and her book, Stop Playing, Go Vegan. And she is a definitely an example and a testimony of how this plant-based diet can really help you if you have a medical situation or diagnosis, or you're trying to prevent something, health-wise. This book and her style of eating can help you. So we want you to be a part of it and get this information on Sunday from 2 to 4 at the Wellness Workshop and Cooking Demo with Dr. Ruby Lathan on Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. Any final words you got?
I just want people to, look at knowing that the power is on your plate and you're in control of that. So, make those choices that will keep you here and healthy for as long as possible. And to register for the event, it is free, but come on out, but register so we have you on the list, and I'll see you all on Sunday.
Yes. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you again. She's going to be, Dr. Ruby Lathan will be at the Wellness Workshop and Cooking Demo, plant-based focus demo. Stop Playing, Go Vegan is her book. This is going to be on Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Community Health Action Center right here on the campus of Oakwood University from 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. All right.
Thank you for having me.
When you think of poverty, what do you see? In America today, 37 million people live below the poverty line. They're the working poor, struggling